I would rather ride a bicycle than this Yamaha R7. And I'm honestly really tired of this bike because it is the worst bike you could ever get. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I would never take a bicycle over this. But there is a lot of hate towards this bike. I don't know why people hate on this bike, but they need to stop. I actually do know why. They are hating on this bike because it's only a 2-cylinder instead of the 4-cylinder Yamaha R6, which is why people are hating on it, because Yamaha decided to basically exchange the R7 for the R6. This bike is really torquey. It has about 75 horsepower and like I think about 50 foot-pounds of torque, which is a pretty torquey bike. So it accelerates really quick. This bike has a 689cc engine. It's called CP2, which is crossplane, which sounds completely different than an inline 4. And it still sounds good. Like the CP2 sounds great. I do like the sound of the inline 4s. Like you could hear those from like a mile away, and they're like screaming. Like, man, I love that sound. But at the same time, this has a great sound to it. It's like it has like a deeper sound. And here, I'll turn it on for you guys so you could hear how it sounds. It does have a exhaust on it already, so it's not stock. And it sounds really good, honestly. Here, we'll give it like a little rev. Alright. So yeah, it sounds really good. There's nothing wrong with the sound of this bike. I would say the stock exhaust does not sound that good at all. So I would recommend changing out the exhaust. This bike also has ABS, which is not on a lot of other bikes, which is surprisingly a really good feature on this bike, is that it has ABS. Not many bikes come with that option. Most of the time you have to pay extra to get ABS. ABS is always great to have. I mean, it's always nice having an extra feature. So the fact that it comes free with this bike is like great. This bike has more than enough power to do anything you need. It's good for cruising around. It's great for low end speed, I would say. It is really good on the highway as well. I mean, I would say you don't want to be pushing this bike like a inline 4. It's a different bike. It's not going to get you the same top speed of a inline 4, but it still gets there. It still goes quick, but the top end speed isn't the best on this bike, to be honest. But it's still a great bike, and you don't need to be hitting top end speeds. You have a bike that has the capability to do a lot of things, and for cheaper than most inline 4s. My favorite part about this bike is the front end. It does look pretty similar to the Yamaha R6 and the Yamaha R1. I do wish it did have that light on the sides, like those lights on the sides like the R6, but that's honestly still like a unique look to this bike. I love the LED lights. I wish they were a little brighter though. I feel like at nighttime they're not that bright, especially if there's like any cracks in the road or like gravel. You want to be able to see that, ahead of time, so you have time to like maneuver around it. What are the things that I like about this bike specifically? The bike it has like a sporty look, but it's also not as hunched over as much as the R6 or any other like inline 4s, which is a big plus for this bike. I did install a quick shifter on it today, which makes the bike like so much better. and I'm gonna show you guys that real quick. It honestly changes the whole entire bike. This is the quick shifter. Basically you shift up without using the clutch at all, which is like amazing. I love it. There is a few things that I want to do on this bike, and it's gonna be changing the fairings, which is, I don't know, there might be a little surprise, but something might be happening pretty soon. Also, I want to change the exhaust. This is like not the best exhaust, so I could get something like an M4. I am gonna get rid of that fender. This does not look good at all, so that's gonna get removed. I'm gonna have the license plate like over here. I would like to change the levers, and I think I might change this one. It is tinted, but there is like a Puig windscreen that looks a lot better in my opinion. And honestly, it doesn't like really need that many mods. Like, I already have this installed, which is like flush signals, which is really cool. Here, I'll show you guys what that looks like. Kind of hard to see, but there it is. Alright, so we're gonna go for a little quick ride and talk more about this bike. Let's start it up. A lot of content creators usually get the Yamaha R7, and honestly I think it's because it's such a perfect bike for basically everything. Like, the look of this bike is great. This bike is honestly really good for a lot of beginners. I have a lot of friends who got this bike as their first bike and they did pretty well. And they honestly think that it's like a perfect bike. Some of them do want to upgrade, but honestly I don't think you need to upgrade at all unless you're trying to go over 160 miles an hour, which honestly I don't think anyone needs to go that speed at all. So I installed the quick shifter today, and there's a light that pops up when you install it, and the shifts are like so good. Yeah, so this bike is honestly great for everything. It has enough speed to get you around town, and it has enough speed on the highway, and you do feel pretty stable on the highway. And the downshifts on this bike, they sound so good. Why is there a car in the middle of the road? That's crazy. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day or night. If you guys want more content like this, let me know down in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. Also, comment down what's your favorite thing about this bike, and if you guys have a bike, go ahead and write it down in the comments below so I see what kind of bikes you guys have or are planning to get in the future.